Today we're gonna make a website like Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan. We're gonna make a website just like him, like Joe Rogan.
This is seriously gonna be like the best website I've ever made in my life. Hello, today we're gonna make a website like Joe Rogan. So I was thinking, can I show you how to make a website of a man worth over $100 million and do it step by step with no steps skipped? And I think the answer is of course. Of course.
Of course. Of course.
So what are we gonna learn? We're gonna learn how to get your domain name and entire website set up. We're gonna learn how to put in this logo, how to put in all this navigation. We're gonna learn how to put in all of these images and pictures. Of course, you can change them. Let's scroll down. We're gonna learn how to put in this cool tour section if you want it. If you don't want it, that's cool too. Maybe you don't do tours, I don't know. Then we're gonna scroll down and we're gonna learn how to put in this section right here. And of course, you can change it. You can change this images, change this text. We're just gonna make this Joe Rogan website step by step. And we're gonna make it really cool. Something really cool about this website is it's a one-page website. So if we click on anything, it will scroll right down to it. So I'm gonna show you how to do all of that. It's gonna be super simple, no coding. We're gonna do it in WordPress, which is the best platform in the entire world to make a website. Nothing even comes close, not Wix, not Squarespace, not Weebly, not Shopify, nothing. WordPress dominates and kills it. I'm also gonna show you how to make this blog up here. Now, if we click on Joe's blog, we can see that his blog is blank. Come on, Joe, hire someone to put some content on your blog, man. So unlike Joe's website, we're gonna have all the content right here. If you want a blog, if you don't, that's cool. You can always delete it. So there are 4 steps to making any website, and it's getting your domain name, getting hosting, installing WordPress, and making your website. The domain name and hosting are the only things that cost money. Everything else is absolutely free. So what is your domain name? Your domain name is the same thing as your website name. Your domain name is yourbusiness.com, yourname.com. Joe Rogan's domain name is joerogan.com. My domain name is tyler.com. Google's domain name is google.com. Facebook's domain name is facebook.com. So that's your domain name, also known as a URL or your website name. Your domain name costs about $14 per year. So you can't get out of that cost. Someone needs to type in something in order to go to your website. So if your domain name is your website name, what is your hosting? Hosting is a computer that's on 24 hours a day that holds all of your website information. For example, on Joe Rogan's website, he has a logo up here, he has text here, he has his image right here. All of that information is being held on a computer with super fast internet. So when you type in his domain name, that computer holds all of that information, and you're essentially downloading all of the text, all of the images, and everything from that computer, and that's why you see something. If you didn't have hosting, then all of this would come up blank. You'd be able to type in something, but none of the text, none of the images, nothing like that would show up. So again, your domain name is your website name. Hosting is a computer that's on 24/7 that holds all of your website information. Hosting costs about $10 per month, but I'm gonna show you how to get a huge discount and bring that down to about $3 a month. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna install WordPress. WordPress is a content management system, which is just a fancy way of saying it helps you manage all of your content. So instead of having to know HTML and CSS and all of this code, you do it all visually. It's the most popular way in the entire world to make a website. The other website platforms don't even come close. All right, so WordPress is used by companies like CNN, Forbes, Sony, Best Buy, UPS, GM, the New York Times. It's also used by people like Jay-Z and Katy Perry. So I'm happy to tell you that WordPress is absolutely absolutely free. And the last step that we're gonna do is we're gonna make your website. So you're gonna be doing all the hard work, but it's actually pretty easy. So we're gonna be doing it all yourself. You're gonna be adding in all of the images, the text, the navigation, everything. We're gonna do it together step by step. So luckily that is free also. So I'm gonna show you how to get a huge discount on your domain name and hosting. So in total, it's gonna come out to be about $30 per year, which I think is an excellent deal to have your website go across the entire internet and have almost anyone in the world see it. All right, so let's do the first two steps, getting your domain name and hosting. Luckily, we can do that at the same place, which is hostgator.com. That's HOSTGATOR.com, and press enter. So I do get commission for recommending HostGator, but I would never recommend something that I didn't really believe in. I've been using HostGator myself personally for 15 years and recommending them on my channel for 9 years. Now there are thousands and thousands of different hosting companies, and obviously I haven't tried all of them, but I really like HostGator because they have live chat and 24/7 phone support and email support. So how do we sign up for HostGator? It's pretty easy. All we have to do is click on this hosting. We don't really need pro hosting. We just need the regular hosting. So you go over here and you click on hosting. And then you have three options: shared hosting, website builder, or WordPress hosting. You would think that you would use WordPress hosting because we're making a WordPress website, but actually it's too much and you can always upgrade later. So it costs a little bit more, and why do it when you don't really need it and you can always upgrade later? So we're gonna click on shared hosting. And if we scroll down here, we're gonna see three different plans and we're gonna see the price right here. So $275, you can actually save more money if you go up here and go to hostgator.com/unlock. So UNLOCK, unlock, and press enter. Now that's the same page, but it actually went down. So now it's $2.57 a month. So now it's gonna give us the options of three different plans: the hatchling plan, the baby plan, or the business plan. The business plan is just way too much. We don't need all of that. It really is between the hatchling plan and the baby plan. So what's the difference between the hatchling plan and the baby plan? The baby plan offers unlimited domains. So you can have like yourwebsite.com, your friend's website.com, your other business.net, your mom's website.org. So you can have unlimited domain names on a single hosting package. With the hatchling plan, you can only have a single domain name. So like yourwebsite.com, yourbusiness.com, just a single domain name. For most people, I think the hatchling plan is gonna be great, and you can always upgrade later to the baby plan. So you might as well go with the least expensive option. All right, so to do that, just click on buy now. All right, and now we have two different options here. I already own a domain, or I'm gonna register a new domain. You would click I already own a domain if you've already purchased a domain from somewhere like GoDaddy. So you type it in right here, I already own it.com. But most people, I think, are registering a new domain. So just click on register a new domain, and we can type it in right here. And then we can choose the extension right here. So sometimes the .com isn't available, or sometimes you wanna be super cool and use like the .space or the .host or the .net. So it can either be by preference because you just think it's cool and you like it, or maybe your main domain name's not available, so you have to get the .tech or the .space. So we're just gonna go with the .com, and we're gonna scroll down. And right here, we can see all of the other ones that they want you to add on, but I don't think that you need to add them on. I don't think someone's gonna like steal your business idea and make the .net or the .online with the same domain name. It usually doesn't happen. But obviously they wanna make more money, but we don't want to give them our money, at least not that much money. Now, what is domain privacy protection? I'm a little bit conflicted on this because on one hand, it's nice to have, but on the other hand, at $15 a year, I'm not sure it's worth it. But basically, when you register a new domain name, when you buy your website name, your information like your name and email is registered in a database and people can look it up. What domain privacy protection does is that it makes it so people can't look it up. So if you uncheck this to save a little bit of money, you may get some spam calls and spam email. And if you leave it checked, then you're gonna have to pay a little bit more a year, but you won't get any spam calls. Because I'm a cheap person, I'm just gonna uncheck this and know that I may get some spam calls and it may be sort of annoying, but at least I'll save $15 a year, but this is totally up to you. So next, I'm gonna scroll down and we're gonna make sure that we're on the hatchling plan if we want a single domain name, or the baby plan if we already have multiple domain names, multiple websites. So I'm just gonna choose hatchling, and then for the billing cycle. Now this is where a little strategy comes into play, because obviously we wanna save the most amount of money, but we also wanna pay the least up front. So if we go with a 1 month, we're gonna be paying the least amount up front, but in the long run, we're gonna be paying the most amount of money. If we go with the 36 months, we'll be paying the most amount up front, but the least amount in the long run. But if we look right here, it's $2.57 a month, where the 12 month is $2.58 a month. So I think the 1 year plan is actually the best balance between everything. It's not that much up front, and you practically save the most in the long run. So we're just gonna go with the 12-month plan, but it's totally up to you. All right, next, we're gonna create our HostGator account by putting in our email address, confirming it, putting in our password, choosing a security pin, entering in your billing information like your first name, last name, phone number, address, city, and state. I'm in California. Putting in your zip code. And then we have your payment type. Do you want to pay by credit card or PayPal? So you fill in that information. Don't worry, this isn't a real credit card. And your CVV code and your expiration date. And then they want to know if you want additional services. So I'm just gonna keep this real simple for you guys. No, 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 and no, but I'll explain. Do we want SSL? Well, your website already comes with SSL, and I'm not sure what this advanced SSL is, so no. Do we want SiteLock Essentials? You can install something called a plugin that has security, so we definitely don't need this, especially at $24 a year. Do we want professional email? I don't think so, because it already comes with email, and if you're gonna get email, my recommendation would be to get it from Google or Gmail. Do we wanna back up our hard work? I'll show you how to do that, and you'll save a whopping $33 a year. Holy cow. So we don't need that. And do we need HostGator SEO tools? I'm not even sure what they would do, and I don't think that they could help. And we'll save $35 a year, so no. Next, it's gonna ask us to enter a coupon code. If you enter in unlock, it should already be here. But if it's not, we can type it in UNLOCK and press validate. And that will give us the biggest discount. And we can scroll down and we can review our order. So we have 24/7, 365, phone live chat, email support, instant account activation, whatever that means, money back guarantee, your domain for 1 year, the hatchling for 12 months, your discount, and it all comes out to be approximately $31. It may be from 30 to 35 or from 30 to 40. And that is your total cost for your entire website for an entire year. So I think that's a super good deal to have your website spread across the entire internet. So all you have to do now is agree to the HostGator terms of service and click checkout now. All right, so congratulations, you've actually done the hardest part, which was just deciding that you actually want a website. The next thing that we're gonna do is install WordPress. So you should see a page like this after you sign up, and you can either click Marketplace to install WordPress, or you can go over here and press install WordPress. So all we have to do is click install now. So just click install now, and then it's gonna ask us what version, just keep it as it is, and it's gonna ask us what's our domain name. I have a lot of domain names on here, but just choose the one that you signed up for. There's probably only one anyways. We want to make sure that this directory is blank, because if we put something in here, it's going to install on ourwebsite.com/something instead of just our main website. And we want to install WordPress just on our main website. Then it's going to ask us for our site name. This is usually your business name or your name. We can always change this later, so I'm just going to put make a website. And for site description, you can just put whatever your site is about. If you're a plumber, maybe you would put Los Angeles plumber. But I'm going to put make a website like Joe Rogan. All right, then we can scroll down. It's gonna ask us for our username and password. I'm just gonna put my name as my username because it's easy to memorize, and I'm gonna hide this password so the internet doesn't hack me and put in my password. All right, then it's gonna ask us for our email address that we wanna create. So I'm just gonna put tyler@learnhowtocreateawebsite.com and select your language, which is English for me. We don't need to select any of these plugins. We can always add plugins later, which I will explain. But basically they're like apps themes for your WordPress website. We don't need to install any themes. I want to show you how to do it from scratch so that you always know. Put in your email installation details so you get a copy of everything, and then click install. All right, so now WordPress is installing. It used to be super hard and super complex to install WordPress with a bunch of files and FTP and a bunch of nerdy stuff, but now it's doing it all for us and it's super simple. All right, so now it says, congratulations, the software was successfully installed, but was it really? If we go and check our website by clicking on this link right here, we get this page right here, which is obviously not our website, and obviously the internet thinks that this website doesn't really exist. And that's because our website takes a little bit of time, from 10 minutes to an hour, sometimes up to 24 hours, but it's pretty rare for our website to spread across the entire internet. So we're gonna have to wait 10, 20, maybe an hour for our website to work. So I'm just gonna exit out of here and I'm gonna come back in 10 minutes, take a little break, and see if it works. All right, so it's been about 15 minutes and now I'm gonna see if my website works by clicking on it, and it does. So our website works. So now we can go back here, see if we need any of this information, which we don't. So we're gonna exit out of here, and we're also gonna exit out of here. So now we have a website that's online. This has been spread across the entire internet and almost anyone in the world can access it. Some web developers might have charged you $500 just to get you here, which is ridiculous. That was super easy and we did it step by step, but now how do we control this? This is obviously not what we want our website to look like. So how do we gain access into the back end in order to change the website how we want it? And it's super simple. All we have to do is go to ourwebsite.com/wp-admin and press enter. So it's /wp-admin and press enter. And that will show you this login right here. And all we have to do is enter in that username that we made in the last step in our password. If we don't have it, it would have been emailed to us. So just enter in right here, that username and that password that you just created. And then all we have to do is click on login. And now that's gonna enter us into what's called a dashboard. So this is the back end of your website where you'll make all of the changes in order to make the website exactly how you want it. But there is a problem right here. We see all of this stuff right here that we don't really need, that was added automatically to your website. It's like when you get a new phone or a computer and they have all these apps and programs preloaded because they got paid to add them in there, but we don't want to be part of their marketing scheme, so we want to start off blank and fresh. So we want to delete all of these apps so that everyone begins their website on a fresh blank canvas with a nice clean WordPress install. So we want to delete all of these apps and programs, and these apps and programs are called plugins in WordPress. So to do that, all we have to do is go over to plugins right here, and then scroll down and click this right here to select all of them. These are the programs or apps, also known as plugins in WordPress, that were automatically installed, but we don't want them. So we're gonna deactivate them first and apply. And once they're deactivated, we can actually delete them by clicking here, going here and pressing delete, then apply, then press OK. And that will delete all of them. If we go back into the dashboard, we can see that the dashboard is clean, nice, and fresh, and we're starting off with a blank canvas. So how do we get to the front end of your website? All you have to do is click this button up here. It should say your business name or your name, so just click on it, and you'll get to the front page of your website. You can tell now that you're logged in because you see this big black bar at the top right here. I guess it's not that big, is it? But this bar won't show for any of your users. You just know it's there, which tells you that you're logged in. To get back into the back end or the dashboard, all you have to do is click this again, and you're back into the dashboard. Let's do that one more time. Click on it. Now we're at the front end of your website. So we can see this design right here, this make a website. It has this title right here. It's kind of green. It looks kind of weird. It's called the theme or the design of your website. And there are hundreds and hundreds of different themes, hundreds of different designs for your website. I like to use one called Astra where you can build literally anything. So you can build any design from this one theme. So all we have to do to install a new theme is just go into the back end of our website again, and then go to Appearance and themes. And now we can add new. So we're adding a new theme, and this one's called Astra, A-S-T-R-A. It's the best theme that there is. And we can go over it and we can click details and preview, and we can see that it's 5 stars with 4,800 ratings. And they say this is a preview of it, but it's really not. It's gonna look much better, so we're just gonna install this right now. Once we do that, we're gonna click on activate, and it's gonna activate our theme. Then we can click this to go to the front end of our website. And now we can see the theme has changed. So we have this header right here, it looks different. This hello world looks different, and we have this sidebar over here. Obviously, this isn't how we want our website to be, but this theme allows you to change it however you want. All right, if we click on this hello world right here, we can see it made a sample blog post for us. And if we click on this sample page right here, we can see that it made a sample page for us. So with both this hello world and sample page, we want to delete it. We also want to make this URL much simpler. You see how it says 2021/01/28. We don't want all of that. We want it just to say hello world. So how do we make this URL much simpler? So it's ourwebsite.com/hello-world instead of / all of this, then hello world. All right, so that's what we're gonna do first. Then we're gonna delete these 2 pages. So all we have to do is go back into the back end or the dashboard, and then go to settings and permalinks. Settings, permalinks. Once we're here, instead of day and name, we're just gonna click on post name, and then we're gonna click save changes. Once we do that, we can go back into the front end of our website, and we can click on that hello world, and it's gonna have removed all of those dates and just give us a really clean /hello-world, which is perfect and much more professional. So we can also click on the sample page, and it didn't change anything. But we actually want to delete this hello world and the sample page because we want to start off clean. So to do that, all we have to do is go back into the back end again, and then go to posts, that's blog posts, and then we're gonna hover over it and click on trash. Once we put it in the trash, we can actually click on the trash and delete it permanently if we want. Then we're gonna delete that page, that sample page. So click on pages, and we can go to that sample page and we can click trash, and we can go to the trash and we can delete permanently. That will delete that sample page. If we have any comments right here, we can click on comments. I think I did see one, but now it's not showing up. So if we had any comments here, we can delete those also. All right, now we can go back into the front end of our website, and we're actually gonna see everything is blank. There's no hello world, there's no sample page. We're starting off blank. The next thing that we're gonna do is install a visual designer. So the visual designer is gonna allow you to make your website visually, and it's so much easier than the basic default WordPress designer. So this is a free plugin. And again, a plugin is something that extends the functionality of WordPress. It's like having an app or a program on your computer. And that's the magic of WordPress. There are thousands and thousands of free plugins that you can install on your website that make your website great. All right, so let's go back into the back end by clicking on your website name and then clicking on plugins. Once we do that, we can click on add new, and then we can look for a plugin called Elementor, E-L-E-M-E-N-T-O-R. It has 5 million active installations, 5,600 5-star reviews. You can get more details if you want to see things like what it looks like, some screenshots and things like that. We can go here. This is what it looks like. Cool. It allows you to make your website visually super awesome. The best one out there. We're just going to install it now. It's going to install. Once we install it, then we have to click on activate to activate it. So just click on activate, and great, we can see it over here. It is now activated. Now, if we go to the front end of our website, we can actually open up a new tab and go to the Joe Rogan website at joerogan.com. And as we can see, we need to make the website much different. We need to make everything black. We need to add this home page right here. We need to change the navigation up here, and we need to design this entire page here. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is change the background color of our website to black. So let's go over here, and the way you do that is you go to customize, and then we can go to global, and then we can go to colors, then click base colors, and then for background we're gonna make this one black. So we're gonna make it black. All right, now we can go back to his website and look at a few things, and we can see that the link colors, these links are white. So we can go back to our website and we can say link colors, these link colors are white. And when you hover over the links, I wonder what colors they are. They're still white, so they don't really change. So when you hover over the links, we're also gonna make that white. The heading colors, I wonder if he has any headings, which he does, this tour. So that is also going to be white. So heading colors are gonna be white. The text color also needs to be white because his text color right here is white. And the theme color, I'm not really sure about. I don't see anything right here. So we're just gonna keep that blue. We may change that later, but it doesn't look like anything is there. All right, the next thing that we can do is change this header up here. So we see this header, it says Joe Rogan, and then the links are below. So how do we do that? We can just go back and back again and back one more time. Then right here where it says header builder, we can begin building the header. So let's actually put the logo in the middle right here. So it looks like this right here, the Joe Rogan. We'll create a logo later. And then let's actually put the primary menu below it right here. Then we can click on the primary menu and go to design. And then we can click on the menu for colors right here, and we're gonna make the background color black and the link color white. Then we're gonna click general, and it's not updating right here, so I hope that's just a glitch in the system. And if we click on this right here, maybe we could click on design and we can change this to black. Perfect. Border bottom, nothing, and go to general. And then we can click over here and click design and colors again. And I'm having problems with this because there's actually no links in the menu. So I'm trying to make it white, but there's actually no links in the menu. So I was confused. Whoops, sorry. So let's just imagine that there's links right here that are white, just like Joe Rogan's. And let's imagine that I'm not actually crazy. All right, now we need to make the settings for this. So just click on these settings right here and then go to design, and we're gonna design this so that it has no border right here, that the background color is actually black. And then we can click on the logo design right here. We don't have a logo yet, but we will. But we can click on design, and for the title, we can change the font size if we want. We can make it a little bit bigger, maybe make it 40 or 550 maybe, or 60. 60 looks good. And then go back to general. And right here, we can change the name to Joe Rogan. And then we don't want the inline logo and site title, so we're gonna remove that. And for some reason, this isn't showing up white, so I'm just gonna publish it and see if it actually does show up white after we exit out of here, which it does not. So we need to go back and click on customize. Then maybe we can click on header builder again and click the logo. It should be here. Click design. Typography is nothing. All right, guys, I am so sorry. I have failed you. After a little bit of Googling and just researching it, you actually can't change the visited link color of this. But I was gonna show you how to make a logo there anyway, so there is a workaround. So let's do that. So to make this Joe Rogan logo up here, all we have to do is go to My Fonts, myfonts.com, and then we can search for this font, which is Typeka. So we can search for that. So it's Typeka. Typeka, and we can go down and we can try to find Typeka, which is right here. So just click on Typeka, and we can scroll down, and don't worry, you don't have to buy it. We can type in Joe Rogan. And I apologize if you can hear the rain. But anyways, we can make this font really big, and then we can change these colors. So we want the font to be white and the background to be black, and make it big again. And if we right click, we actually can't save as an image. It's just having a save as, which is not good. So we need to click on Typeka regular, and then again, make it a little bit bigger, as big as we can to fill up all that space. And then right click and save image as. So we're gonna save this one to our desktop and we're gonna save it as Joe Logo. All right, once we have that, we can exit out of here and exit out of this and go back to our website and we can select logo. So we can click, hold, and drag this right here. And then we can click on edit image right here. So click edit image. So we see all this extra space right here and we wanna crop it. So click on the crop button and then move it in as close to the end as possible. And then press enter to crop it. And maybe click crop again and move it in a little bit closer and press enter. All right, that looks pretty good. Remember to press save right here. And we have that logo saved and we'll press update. Now that logo is updated. It's not reflecting here, but if we exit out of here, press select logo again and click on it, it's still not updating, but if we select it, it should be good. So we'll just say skip cropping because we already did that and it's not showing up yet. So let's remove that logo, select it again. And I think when we select it, I think it will be fine. We can skip cropping. I think when we publish that, it'll actually show up good. So let's publish it and let's exit out of here and let's refresh. And we can select our logo again and click on this and press select. And now that's the right image, thank God. We can skip cropping, that'll show up right there. We can make the logo width a little bit bigger or less big. We can look what his website looks like. About 380 looks good to me. We're not gonna display the site title anymore, just that logo. And now we can go to the settings right here and we can change the height of this a little bit. So it gives a little bit more space like he has right here, a little bit more space. So that's looking pretty good, maybe a little bit less, maybe 100. All right, 110 is perfect. All right, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna remove these sidebars because we can see right here, there's no sidebars, there's nothing on the side right here, but with this, it has sidebars right here. So how do we remove that? That's pretty easy. All we have to do is go back and back again. And then go to sidebars, and then default layout, we're gonna say no sidebars, and we're gonna say bye-bye sidebars. All right, once we do that, we're gonna change the site layout because this content goes all the way across. So we're gonna make it so our content goes all the way across. So we can just go back and then go to global and container. And instead of box content, which would make it into a box, we want it to go all the way across. So we'll say full width, but contain. So that's gonna make the images and everything like this go all the way across, but our content's gonna be contained within it. All right, and now we're gonna change the text so it looks like this text. So it looks a little bit different. So we can go up here and we can go back. And then we're gonna click on typography, which is the same thing as font. And we're gonna go to base typography. And for the family, we're gonna type in Source Code Pro. That's gonna change it to this, which looks a little bit more similar to this. All right, we're also gonna change the size to 17, so it's a little bit more. And then we're gonna go back and for the headings, which is this right here, like this tour, it looks different than this font. So we're gonna change the headings and the family is gonna be able. There we go. So that's gonna change the headings. You're not gonna see any change right here, but it'll show up once we start editing the page. All right, once we do that, we're gonna click on publish and then we're gonna exit out of here and now we have a blank Joe Rogan website that we can begin working on. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is get rid of this right here. How do we get rid of this or change this so that it's black so that it matches? It's super easy. All we have to do is go into customize once again, then click on footer builder and we can see this copyright right here. So we can go to design and then the background color and image is gonna be black. That didn't change anything once again. So we're gonna click on this and then click on design. And background color image, let's pray. It's gonna be black, great. Border top, we're gonna make that 0 so it gets rid of it. And then we're gonna click on this copyright right here and go to design again and text color, we're gonna make white. And then we're gonna click on it again to go back here and then it says copyright, that puts in this little symbol. And then current year, that puts in 2021 and site title that puts in the Joe Rogan. So I don't think we need any of this, so we're just gonna delete that. And we have that right there. That looks super cool and plain and perfect. So we're gonna click publish and then we're gonna exit out of there. All right, now our website is ready to begin putting content on it. So we can look at the Joe Rogan's website and he has this menu, which we also have, but it's not showing up because we just have no pages. So we need to make this home page. This is pretty cool because because when you click on any of these links, it goes to any of the pages. It's a one-page website. So if we click on About, it scrolls down to the About page. If we click on Contact, it goes to a separate contact page. So this is on a separate page. So we'll make this as a separate page also. But we can go back to the home and we can go to the podcast section, and it scrolls right down to this podcast section. So this page that there's all these different tabs on is actually just a single page, except for the contact page and except for the blog page. If we click on blog, that also goes to a separate page. So this home page is gonna get rid of a whole bunch of different pages that we need to do. So it's also, the home page is also the about page. So because it's just a single page. So I guess there are many different pages on the home page, even though the home page is a single page. So it's pretty cool effect and I like it, and we can easily recreate it. So let's create the home page, which is gonna take up a whole bunch of these different navigation items. And then we'll make the contact page, and then we'll make the blog page. So we need to make a new page called home. So we need to go back into our back end of our website. So go here, and then we're gonna go to pages, and we're gonna hover over to add new. We're adding a new page right now. We're gonna call this page home, H-O-M-E. And on the right hand side over here, we're gonna disable the title because we don't want the title to show up. So we're gonna disable title, and then we're gonna press publish and click publish again. That will publish our home page. And now we're gonna go ahead and view our page. So we're gonna view our page right here. And now it says home, and it says home because it's in that navigation menu right here. So that's the same thing as this right here. We just don't have all of these different pages, but we will. So let's go back, and what we can do from here is we can edit this page. We can actually edit with Elementor. That's the visual designer that I was talking about. But actually, we're gonna go back and we can see that right here, it says learn how to create a website.com/home. We don't want it to say that. We know it's a home page. So we want it to just be ourwebsite.com as the home page. If we look on the Joe Rogan site, it doesn't say joerogan.com/home. It just says joerogan.com. So how do we set our home page that we made to our main website page? And to do that, all we have to do is go back here, and then go back into the dashboard, and then go to settings and reading. Settings and reading, and then click a static page, and your home page is the home page that you just made. I know it's a little bit confusing, but just go with me on this one. Then click Save Changes, and now we can go back and visit our site, and now this home page that we created, the page called home, is the home page. You can similarly set the about page to the home page or the contact page to the home page, but the page that we named home is now set to the home page. Once we do that, we can begin editing our website. So just click on Edit Page, and then we're gonna see this Edit with Elementor button, so just click on it. So that will load up our visual designer, and it's super cool. We can add anything here over to here, or if we click anything here, you'll be able to edit it over here. It'll make a lot more sense when I do it. So let's look at the Joe Rogan website. We can see that we have this section right here. So what is this section? This section is actually two different columns, one column here and one column here, because it's separated by this image right here. And there's social media icons, there's an image, and there's text on the right. So how do we make that? It's pretty easy. All we have to do is click on this plus button, and again, it was two columns, one on the left side and one on the right side. See, one on the left, one on the right. The first thing that we're gonna do is add that social media. So all we have to do is go up here and just start typing in social media icons right here. So we'll click, hold, and drag right there. But obviously they're not the right colors because Joe Rogan's were white. So how do we make them white? And they were aligned to the right. So we can align them to the right by clicking on right there. We can go to style, and we can say the official colors. No, it's a custom color. What are the custom colors? Let's see what happens when we go like this. So we can make them all red, or we can make them all black. And by making them black, they'll look transparent, or we can make them transparent ourselves by going like that. And then the secondary color we can make white, and we can see, does that look like that? It does. We can also make the size of them change a little bit, so maybe about right there. We can also change the padding or spacing around them. Maybe we want them a little bit closer or a little bit further. We can change the padding around them also by making them like that. I think that looks pretty good right there. That looks about right. And then we can go back to content and we can add a new item right here. So if you wanted to add your Facebook, you'd grab your Facebook link and you just paste it in right here. So if you want to grab your Twitter, YouTube, maybe we also have an Instagram. So we would change this icon right here. We would say it's not WordPress. Go back to the icon library and type in Instagram. We see Instagram, we insert it. There's Instagram, you would add your Instagram link right here. And I think that looks pretty good. That looks about the same as Joe Rogan's. So that's pretty awesome. All right, and if we go back to style, we can also scroll down and we can go to icon hover. So what does it look like when it's hovered? His changed a little bit so that it glows, and we can do that right here. Or we can change the hover animation to grow or shrink, which is cool. So it will grow a little bit, which I like. And I think that's pretty cool. All right, so what's next? We have this image over here and this text on the right side. So maybe I'll copy this text on the right side and I'll go over here and then I'll click on this Elements tab to go back to the elements, and I'm gonna drag in an image over here. So there's an image right there, and I'm gonna click on the image and I'm going to search for an image. But what if we don't have any images right here? That's okay. We can go up here and we can go to a website called Pixabay.com, Pixabay.com. You'd probably be adding in your own image to it, but right now I'm gonna go to Pixabay and I'm gonna search for black and white portrait of a man. All right, so we have all of these and maybe we like this guy right here. So we're just gonna go with the free download. These are copyright free, and we're gonna press download and we're just gonna say I'm not a robot, and we're gonna download it. Once we do that, we're going to exit out of here and we're gonna put him in just like Joe Rogan is right there. So we're just gonna click on this, choose image, upload files, and then click, hold, and drag that file right in, and then insert media, and then now that will show right there. So that's pretty cool. Then once we have this image, we'll add some text on the right side just like him right here. So we'll just click on this and copy it and go over here, go to the elements, and then add the text editor right below this. Just click, hold, and drag, and then we can paste in that text by clicking on text and then pasting it in by pressing paste when you right click, or Command or Control V. Once we do that, we're gonna see that the text is not the font that we chose, and that's because we need to go up here and go to Site Settings, and then go to Global Fonts. And Global Fonts for our text, instead of Roboto, we're gonna change that to Source Code Pro. All right, and that will change it more to something that looks like this right here, just a little bit. All right, then we're just gonna exit out of there, and we're gonna go back, and then we're gonna go to Global Colors. So Global Colors, our text we want to be white, and that is looking much better. So we'll go back and we'll actually update that, and we'll exit out of there. And now we can see that this is looking a lot closer. This does need to be changed to be a little bit bigger. So we'll click on it, then we'll go to Style, and then we're going to go to Typography, and we'll increase the size right here, maybe to something like 24, maybe something a little bit less, maybe something like 20. That's looking pretty good. He has a lot more space up here and a lot more space down there. So let's add in some more spacing. Click on this entire section and then go to Advanced, and then unlink the values for padding or margin. We're gonna do padding today though. Padding is on the inside, margin's on the outside. It doesn't really matter in this case. And then we'll add some more to the top and bottom. Let's say 100 at the top and 100 at the bottom. So now we have some more space right there. And now let's see how his looks different. So the social media is a little bit up and this is a little bit down. So let's change that a little bit. Ours is to align. So we can just easily click here and then go to spacer and put a spacer up here, and then just add a little bit of space right here. And we go over here and we look, and this is about level with his head. So we can go over here and we can go back to our spacer and we can click it, and then we can level it with his head right there. We can see that this does about 4 or 5 lines, 5 lines here, and ours does 3. So how do we change that? We can click on here and then we can go to advanced. We can change the padding. So unlink it and add space to the left and right side. Maybe we'll just add space to the right side. And if we go back to the Joe Rogan website, we can see that that is looking pretty good. But if we go back to the Joe Rogan website, we can actually see that this text box goes a little bit over the image. So how do we do that? Let's make this image a little bit bigger by putting this row a little bit bigger. And then let's take this text box right here and click on it. And then let's go to margin and let's do a negative margin, negative 90. And that would scoot this box over here. So that's pretty cool. Then we can go to background and we can change the background color. So we're gonna change it a little bit. We're gonna make it a different color. We're gonna make it very dark gray. And now we have that box going over a little bit, but it needs to change the padding a little bit, and this will give you a better sense of what padding is. So we can click on this and then go to advanced right here, and then we can change the padding. So maybe we'll do 100 padding on the right, and on the left, maybe we need to do some padding. We can see right here, there's a little padding here, padding here, padding here, and padding here. So left, 30, right, maybe 30, top and bottom, maybe 10 and 10. All right, we can squish this even more. So it goes on 4 or 5 lines, and we can move this over in even more. For the margin right, I put 230, and then for left, I put negative 230. That added 230 pixels of space here, and negative 300, which pushed it way over here. All right, so that is looking pretty good. We can look at the Joe Rogan website, and it looks very similar with it overlapping on that image as this right here. All right, then if we want to save our changes, we can update and we can preview our changes right here. So we just click on preview. And if we go back to our main website, we can see this is what our main website looks like. And I think it looks pretty cool. The spacing can be changed a little bit. Maybe this can be brought down a little bit because it looks a little bit different right here. But all we have to do is change this spacing here to be a little bit more, maybe put it at 100 instead of 60, and then update it. And then we can look at our website and refresh it. And we can see that that looks much better. So that is pretty cool. All right, sorry guys, the rain was coming down so hard. I hope you didn't hear it too much in the audio. The next section that we're gonna do is this section down here, this tour section. Now, obviously you don't need to make a tour section, but it's just an example to show you how you can make almost anything that you see on the internet. So we see this tour section right here. It has this tour up here. It has 2 columns, so this one, and it has this little line right here. So we're gonna see how to make all of that and also this background image right here. So it's pretty easy. All we have to do is go back to our website and we can exit out of this one. We just need the Elementor one open. All right, and all we have to do is scroll down. We're gonna make a new column, which is a single column, and we're doing that, you'll see in a second, but basically we're gonna add this single column here for this entire section. And then within this, we're gonna add 2 different sections. I know that's a little bit confusing, but you'll be able to get it in just a second. So we're gonna add a single column right there. And then we're gonna add a little bit of space to the top and bottom of this. So just click on the entire section and go to advanced. Then where it says padding, we're gonna unlink these values. And on the top, we're gonna add 50. And on the bottom, we're gonna add 50. So that's just gonna add a little bit of space to the top and bottom, just so that it doesn't touch this tour. If we didn't have the space, this tour would be touched right here. It'd be all the way at the top and it wouldn't look that great. All right, then we wanna get this image in the background. So maybe we want a crowd picture, some concert picture, or maybe you in there. So how do we get an image in the background of this section? We click on the entire section and then we go to style. And then with background type, we click on classic. So then we can click on choose image. And now we don't have the image right now. So I'm gonna go to pixabay.com, pixabay.com, and press enter. And then I'm gonna look for something like concert crowd. All right, then maybe I can scroll down and we can find something that looks really good. And maybe we like this one right here. This one looks pretty cool. These colors look pretty cool. So we can click on it and then we can just download it, free download. So this size is perfect, the 1920 by 1275. You don't want to go with anything bigger because they'll make your website slow if too many images have to download. So we'll just download that one. Say that you're not a robot, and then go back to the website right here and go to upload files and click, hold, and drag in this image. All right, and then we can insert media. It inserted in right there, but we don't have any content. And also the image isn't showing up the best way that it could. If we click on this and then go to style, we can see if we go to size, we want it to be cover. That will try to get the whole width of the image in there, which is exactly what we want. All right, but it's too light. We see that his is much darker right here. So this is way too light. So we wanna go over to background overlay and let's add a background overlay to it. So let's just go to classic, and for color, we want it to be darker. So let's go dark. And for opacity, we want it to be a little bit more. If we had it all the way, it would be all the way black to 1. If we had 0, it would be completely see-through. So we want it about 0.65 is pretty good. I think that looks about the same lightness as this one. And to me, that looks pretty good. All right, next we can close this right here and we can go back to the Joe Rogan website and we can see that this says tour right here. So we're gonna add that in. So we just go here, we go to heading, click, hold, and drag. And then right here, we can put TOUR. It doesn't seem to be the right font. So we can go to style and we can go to text color. We want it to be white. And then we can go back to typography. Instead of roboto, we can type in able, A-B-E-L. And that looks much better. We need to change the size a little bit. So I'll just add 60 in right here. And then the font weight needs to be a little bit thinner. So I'm gonna put 300. And that looks pretty close to this. Maybe all of the text can actually be capitalized. So we can go back to content and caps lock tour. And that looks pretty close to that in my opinion. All right, but the next thing that we need to do is add in these 2 sections. So one section here and one section here. This is 2 different columns with this line beneath it. So how do we do that? All we have to do is tackle one of them and then we can duplicate them as many times as we want. So what I'm gonna do is go over here and then click on this right here to get the different elements. And then we can see this intersection right here. So click, hold, and drag, and it automatically puts in 2 different columns within another section. So this is an intersection. All right, all we have to do now is drag in a text editor to the left side because this is just text right here and a button here. So we'll drag in, by clicking on this, we'll drag in a text editor here, and then we'll go back here and we'll drag in a button here. All right, now we can go back and we can see that that looks pretty good to me. Now we need to get the button done. So I'm just gonna actually copy this right here, press Control-C or right click and press copy and go back. And then for here, I'm gonna click on text and I'm just gonna go here and right click and paste so it's the same. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Now we need the button right here. I'm just gonna make this a contact us button. So I'm gonna go over here and click on the button. That's gonna allow me to edit any of the settings. And maybe for this, I'll just put buy tickets, buy tickets. Did he capitalize his? Let's look. Yeah, he capitalized his. So buy tickets, that's fine. For the link, we don't have any pages right now, but this can go to the contact page. So you can just put home and that will enter in your main website. And then we can say /contact because that's where our contact page is gonna be, even though it doesn't exist right now. All right, once we do that, we need to change the color like Joe Rogan's. So we need to make this background see-through. We need to have a border around it and we need to make it white. And this border is about 2 pixels, I think. So we can go back here. And also our button is rounded and his isn't, so let's make it not round. So what we can do is we can go to style because we're styling the button. And then for text color, it can remain white, but the background color needs to be see-through. So we're just gonna make it black, but then we're gonna drag this black so that it is completely see-through over here. And now it sort of looks like it, except for his has a border around it. So we need to say border solid, and the border is about 2, I think. And then the border radius, that's how curved it is. If we put in 50 here, it'd be very curved, which kind of looks cool. But if we put in 0, it'll be very sharp, just like Joe Rogan's. So that is looking like that. Next, maybe we can change the button typography if it's not changed. So we can change this also to source code Pro, and that will change it, and that will look much more like his text right here. All right, and when you hover over this, it turns white and the text turns black. So how do we do that? We go over to the hover. So the text color, I think I said, turns black and the background is white. And so now if we hover, we can also change the border color because maybe the border color stays white. So we can go border color, we can make that also white. And now if we go over it, it looks just like his effect right there, which is super, super cool. All right, the last thing that we need to do is add this light line right here. So we need to add a border to this entire section right here. So click on this entire section right here and then go to style, and then under border, we want to say that this is solid, but we want to unlink all of the values so it doesn't give us border all around, and we just want to have a border on the bottom, and I think that's about 2. So we'll say 2 on the bottom, but it's way too light. We can't see it right now, but it is way too light. So what we want to do is we want to change the border color right here. So we change the color and we want to make it white, but we want to make it about 50% see-through. So that looks pretty good, I think. Can't really see it that well, but we will in a second. All right, but this is a little bit too close to this right here. So we're gonna add a little bit of padding. We see it's a little bit too close. We need a little bit more padding. Again, padding is on the inside. So if we click on this entire section and go to advanced, and then unlink the value of padding. Then we're gonna add a little bit of padding on the top. So 20 at the top maybe, and 20 at the bottom. So that will give us a little bit more space in between each one, like this has a little bit more space in between each one. All right, once we do that, we can just right click this entire section and press duplicate. And then we can do it again, and we can do it again. So there are 4 different tour dates right here, and he has a bunch, obviously, but we're only gonna do 4, but you can do as many as you want. The other thing that happens is that when you scroll right here, this moves, but when you scroll here, he stays. So how do we make it like that? So we can go back and click on this entire section right here, and then under attachment, we want to do fixed. So now it's fixed. Now look at it, same thing. You scroll and it stays. You scroll and it stays. So that's pretty cool. You can literally make anything. I think that looks pretty awesome. Then we can click update and we can preview our changes on the website. It's on our homepage, so we can just go like this and we see that we have that top section right here, and we also have this section here. So that looks super awesome. All right, the next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to look at Joe Rogan's website, and we're gonna scroll down and we're gonna see this section right here. So Joe Rogan in the background, this image here, button, and this text. So how do we recreate this? This is obviously one section right here. So how do we make that on our website? We can close this right here. We just need Elementor open. So we're gonna add in a new section. It's one section. And if we go back here, we're gonna see that this basically fits the entire screen. So however tall my screen is, this fits it. So how do we do that? So we can go over here and we can go to height and we can say fit to screen. So this will be however big our screen is right here, which is cool. And for column position, that's middle. So that's where we want it. We want it to be in the middle, not at the top, not at the bottom, middle, just like he has it. He has all of his content pretty much in the middle right here. And then we need a background picture. So we can go to style and then background type classic, and then we can choose an image. We can upload a file. If we don't have a file, we can go ahead and go to another one of my favorite websites, which is pexels.com, PEXELS.com. And this is another one of my favorite websites that is absolutely copyright free. So we can search for something. Maybe we'll search for, I don't know, music producer. See if that finds anything, and maybe we can find somebody that looks pretty cool. And if we can't find anything here, then we can go to pixabay.com and search there for music producer and see if this does anything better. And this guy looks pretty cool right here. So I'm just gonna click on him and say free download, and we'll download it. Again, the 1020 by 1280 is fine. Say that I'm not a robot and download it. All right, then we can go back to the website right here and click, hold, and drag this in and then insert media. We're gonna again click this entire section, and over here on size, we're gonna make sure it's cover. We're gonna add a background overlay. We're gonna click on this and we're gonna make sure the overlay is black. We're gonna check his website to see how it looks. Maybe his is a little bit lighter. That looks pretty good actually. And then I'm just gonna right click and save this image. You probably have another image, so I'm just gonna save it right here. Press save, that'll put it there, and then I'm gonna put in an image by clicking on this button right here, and then click, hold, and drag an image in. And then I'm going to click the image and upload files and click, hold, and drag that file in there. And then I'm gonna insert media. All right, so that's gonna insert it right there. That looks great, that looks fine. And then next we can see we have this button right here. So we've already made a button up here, so we don't have to do that same work again. So we're just gonna right click and we're gonna duplicate this button, click, hold, and drag this pencil icon, and we're gonna shake it down a little bit right under here. Obviously it's to the left side when his is in the middle, so we wanna click on center, and then we can change that to something else. We can change that to watch now if we want. So we'll just change that to watch now. And that is looking pretty good, pretty much the same. Then we can copy all of this text. Obviously you'd have in your own text, but we can go back here and we can click on this Elements tab and click, hold, and drag in a text editor, and we can go to text. We don't want to paste it here because it would paste all of his formatting. So we don't want that. We want to go to text and then paste it in by pressing Control V on a PC or Command V on a Mac. And then we want to center all of this. So we can do that in the Style tab right here and then just click on Center, and we can see that that is looking pretty good. So that's looking about the same. Maybe his text is a little bit bigger, so we can go to Style and then we could go to Typography and we could make that a little bit bigger, perhaps maybe like that, maybe 20. 20 is looking pretty good, I think, maybe 19. All right, and to me that's looking pretty good. He has a little bit of space on the right and left, but I think we do also. And to me that's looking great. Maybe we have a little bit more space here also, so we can do that and click on any of these right here and then go to advanced. And then we can say margin or padding. I'm gonna use margin because it's on the outside, and we can say top maybe is 20 and bottom is 20. So maybe that looks a little bit better. Maybe we should go with 10 actually. All right, that looks pretty good. We can update that and then we can preview our changes, and we can see that that looks pretty awesome, and it looks like his. Pretty much. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is Joe Rogan's About section. Now we can scroll down, we can see this comedy special, but it's basically super easy. It would be one column, a heading up here, an image here, and then a whole bunch of different columns here with images in it. Not very fun, not very interesting. So we're gonna scroll down and skip that and go to the About section. So this is really easy too, just a heading here, a whole bunch of about text, super simple. All right, so I'm gonna close this and I will close this too, and we'll just go here. We'll go down here, we'll add one section right here. We can add a little bit of padding to the top and bottom by clicking on this, going to advanced, unlinking the values, top, let's say 50 maybe, and bottom 50. Now we have a little bit of space on the top and bottom. Then we can go here and we can go to heading, or we can just go up here and click here and press copy, and then go down here and click here and press paste. Now that will be there, and we can say about, and we can make this the center. So we can do the same thing up here. We can right click and we can press copy, then we can go down here, right click and paste, and that will be in there. But now we need all of this about text, and maybe we want it to be a little bit smaller. So we can just hold on to this and click, hold, and drag to highlight everything, right click, copy, go here, go to the text, and then we can go here, right click and paste. So once we have that in there, it'll show up, but we can see that it's not exactly looking right. That's looking a little bit weird. So what we can do is we can go back to visual, and we can then go to style and make it all aligned left, and that will make it look much better. I think his text is a little bit smaller, so we can go to style and then go to typography and maybe make this 17 or something like that. 17, that looks pretty good. That looks about the same as his approximately. And once we're done with that, we can press update and we can again preview those changes. Once it's updated, we could just take off all of this and go to his main website. All right, and we can scroll down. We have that tour section. We have this watch the podcast section here. We have the about section, and that is looking super good. It's looking just like this. Pretty much, except for we skipped this section because it's boring and I don't want to do it. But what we are gonna do is make your website mobile friendly. So it works on all tablets and phones and every single device. If we look at Joe Rogan's website right now, we can see that if we make this like a phone, we make it really small, that it turns mobile friendly. So this will work on your phone. And if we scroll down, we can see that this all has turned mobile friendly. So it looks great on anyone's phone or device. If we look on our website, we can see that it looks okay, but this is definitely bad. Or over here, it already turned this into mobile friendly, tablet friendly, and this looks great. And that looks great. So a lot of it looks fine and good, but up here also doesn't look that great. And if we click on this, we can see that it's all blank. There's actually stuff in here, but it just looks all white. So we wanna change that because we go here and we click on it, then we can see all of that right there. So how do we change our website so that it is mobile friendly? So that's what we're gonna do. All you have to do is go and click on Elementor, and then we can scroll up, and right here it says responsive mode. We have desktop, tablet, mobile. We're gonna click on the mobile, and then we're gonna see everywhere where it's messed up. So we see up here that it's messed up, but we don't have control over that in this section. So we're just gonna tackle this right here. The thing that's most messed up is this. So we're gonna click on edit, then we're gonna go to advanced, and then we can click through the different mobile or desktop views. So if we go here and we click on this and we go to advanced, we can see that this margin right here is 230 for the desktop and negative 300 on the left for the desktop. And if you click here for the mobile, I don't know why it just disappeared, but we can click on that again and then go to advanced, and then we can change this so the left is 0 and the right is 0, and so that looks much better. Another thing that we can do is if we go down here and go to responsive, we can actually show different things or hide different things on desktop or mobile. So if you wanted to hide this entire section on mobile, you can just go here and that would actually not show up in mobile. We're gonna keep it the same, and we can go to positioning and we can change the positioning like full width, which would go all the way across for mobile and things like that. What we also can do is go to this entire column right here. So just click on the column and then go to advanced and then go to responsive, and we can actually show and hide this entire column if we wanted to. Right now, I think I'm gonna hide this social media icons because it looks kind of weird right here. So I'm gonna click it, and actually what I'm gonna do is right click and duplicate it. So there's 2 of them. So now there's 2, I'm gonna click it, go to advanced, and then go to responsive, and I'm actually gonna hide this one on mobile. So that one's gonna be gone for mobile, and I'm gonna click, hold, and drag this one up so it's at the top. And then I'm gonna go to advanced, and I'm going to go to responsive, and I'm gonna actually hide this on desktop and hide it on tablet. So this is not gonna show up on desktop and tablet. It's only gonna show up on mobile, and this one's not gonna show up on mobile, but will show up on the desktop and tablet. All right, so that's pretty cool. We can also go here and then go to advanced, and we can actually change the padding on just mobile if we wanted to. We can also click on this right here and then go to advanced, and I actually don't want this to show up when we are on the mobile website. So I'm just gonna say hide on mobile. That's gonna hide it, and this will go up right here. And so it'll be right under. All right, so that may have been a little bit confusing, but don't worry. We're also gonna go and click here and then go to advanced. And we can also unlink the values here and unlink the values here actually. And we can give it 0 padding so that that goes up a lot. All right, and again, that's just for mobile. So now we can scroll down and we can change any of these. This looks fine and great. This looks fine and great. And this looks fine and great. So everything looks good. So I think we have done our mobile website. Let's update that and let's see what it actually looks like. All right, so we can go back to our website and now we can make it like a phone, and we can see that that space is gone and this guy's here and this is there, and that other social media icon that was below here is now gone because it's mobile, and everything is looking really, really good. All right, but we have to do one more thing, because if we click, hold, and drag this, we can see that our mobile menu is not right. This needs to be much bigger, and this needs to be white, and it needs to actually work. Right now, it doesn't work, it's just white. So we need to get that to work, and we need to make it look much better. So all we have to do is go here, and we can actually update it by clicking on update and exiting out of here, and then go to customize. And once we do that, we can go to header builder, and then instead of clicking on this, that's for the desktop right here, down here, we can click on the mobile. So we click on the mobile and we can see that it doesn't look good. So we can barely see because it's a little bit cut off right there. But if we click on it, we can change the logo width and just for the mobile. So that's a little mobile icon right there. So we can make it much bigger, but not too big. So about right there. So that looks really good. We can also change the position of it. If we go to the Joe Rogan website and we click on this, we can see that the menu is on the left and the logo is on the right. So we can actually change that here too. So we can click, hold, and drag this and put this over here. And the menu there is on the left and the Joe Rogan is on the right. We can click on the toggle button here and we can change the size a little bit. I think the size for this one is a little bit bigger. Let me look. Oh no, that actually looks pretty small. So maybe the size is fine, but you could change the size right there. I think that looks about the same actually. But we want to change the design. We don't want it to be blue. We can barely see it, and I'm sorry about that. I can't scroll up anymore for some reason. So we can go to design and we can change the color. So maybe we want the color to be white. So white, that looks great. We can change the spacing and everything like that, but I think that looks like his. Maybe you want it to look a little bit better than his by putting it more in the middle or a little bit bigger, and maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll make it a little bit bigger. 27, all right. That looks pretty cool. To me, I could barely see it, but we'll see. All right, once we do that, we still have the problem of when we click on it, it looks all white. So what we do is we click here, and then we go to design, and then for colors, we can click on the colors, and the text link we want to be black, and the background color can stay white, or maybe actually we want that spun around. The text should be white and the background color is black. There you go. All right, and for the hover, I think maybe we won't do anything for the hover, but that's if you're hovering over it. I think we'll just see what happens when we click on publish. So we click on publish and we can exit out of there. And now we're on the main website. Let's pretend we're on the main website by going there. And now we make it mobile. And now we can see that that looks much better. Actually, it could be a lot bigger. That's really not what I expected it to be. But when we click on this, we can see that that is looking pretty good. All right, I just checked on my actual phone and it looks a lot better than it does on the computer. So this is actually gonna look a lot better in real life. But there actually is another problem. If we go over here and we make this like the mobile site, even though it looks better on mobile, this looks bigger. You can obviously make it bigger by going to the customizer again and just making this bigger. But if we click on this, we're gonna see that this is all white right here and it doesn't look right. This should all be black right here, and there's actually not any settings to make it black. So we actually have to do some advanced things, and we're gonna save that for the end, like extra credit, in order to make this all black and all perfect. All right, but for now, we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna circle back to that in a little while. All right, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna make a contact form right here. If we look at the Joe Rogan website, we can see this contact right here. And if we click on it, it goes to a separate contact page. So it goes hiswebsite.com/contact. And he has two contact forms, one right here and one right here, but we're only gonna have one contact form. Of course, you can make two if you want, but I don't think that you need two. All right, so how do we make this contact form? The first thing that we're gonna do is go back to our website, and we need to make a new page. So we're gonna go to the back end by clicking on our website name, and then we can go to pages and go to add new, because we're adding a new page, we're adding a contact page. Then we can just type in contact, All right, and we can go over here and we can scroll down and we're gonna disable the title right here. So it's not gonna show up because we're gonna make our own title. Then we're gonna click on publish. Once we click publish, we can click publish again and that will publish it. Now we're gonna click edit with Elementor. So we're gonna edit with Elementor and we're gonna see this blank page right here where we could put in our contact form, but right now our website doesn't have the ability to create a contact form. So we need to get a plugin in order for us to have that ability to make that contact form. All right, so what we need to do is we need to go to the back end, which we can also do by just going to ourwebsite.com/wp-admin and then going to plugins, and we're gonna add a new contact form plugin. Then we're gonna press add new. Then we're gonna search for a plugin, and this one's called WP Forms. To me, this is the best contact form. So we're just gonna search for WP Forms. It's been installed 4 million times with almost 9,000 5-star reviews. So then we're gonna click install now. That's gonna install the contact form. And then we're gonna click on activate. All right, once we do that, we're gonna see this new WP Forms on the side right here. So we can click on it. And then we're gonna say add new because we're adding a new form. Once we do that, we can choose simple contact form and that'll create a simple contact form for us. All right, so maybe we want a subject line in here. So we're gonna just drag in a single line text under the email and we can click on it and we can change the label to subject. So what is the subject of this message? We can also make this subject required so people have to fill it in or they can't submit the form. And then below here, we can also change this just to message instead of comment or message. So we can just say message, and then we can go to each field and click on it and go to the advanced options down here. And for size, we can change that to large so it goes all the way across, and we can do that for each field. So we can go here, scroll down, go to advanced, and then go to large. With the subject, we can do the same thing, advanced and large. And that will make it go all the way across, which looks, I think, a little bit better. With the message, we don't need to do that because it already goes all the way across. All right, and then we can save our form. So we're saving our form. And next, we can go to the settings over here. So if we click on settings, then we can click on notifications. And this is who it's gonna send the email to. So this is the admin email. This is what's called a smart tag. So this smart tag just replaces your email address that you signed up for. With WordPress, it inserts it in right here, or you can hard code it and just type in your email address right here. So all of the entries are gonna send to me from the website to this email address. This is the subject line of the email address to me. So when someone fills out the email, this will be the subject line. So we can just say new message. And then who's it from? This should be your name or your business name. So I'm just gonna put it's from Tyler. And whose email is it from? So I'm just gonna say, again, it's from my email, or you can just put in that admin email and keep it in there. Who are we replying to? So this would be their email. Whoever filled out your form, let's say they filled out Joe Rogan's form right here and they put in the email address, that's who you'd reply back to. So that's this right here, and it has a smart tag, and that's what you want to show up. So if we delete this right here and we go show smart tags, we can see that that email field that they put in, that they typed in, is gonna be inserted into this reply to. So reply to their email. And then for the message, it's gonna send us all of the fields. So everything in here, basically, it's gonna send to us. I know this is Joe Rogan's website and not ours. This is just an example. All right, we can also go to settings and confirmations. And this will be the message once the form is filled out. It can say, thanks for contacting us. We'll be in touch with you shortly. Maybe instead of shortly, it can say, we'll be in touch with you within 24 hours. All right, so we're gonna save all of that. Then we're gonna exit out of here and we're gonna go to our pages and we're gonna go back to our contact page. So go back to the contact page and edit with Elementor right there. All right, now let's get that contact form in there by searching form. And then we can see this second form right here and we can just click, hold, and drag it in if there was a box to drag it in, but there's not. So we have to add a single column. So right there, now we can go back to here, search forms, and click, hold, and drag that form in there. Then it's gonna say, which form do you want? Remember, we made that simple contact form. So we're just gonna choose simple contact form and it's gonna insert it in right there. and that looks pretty good. Maybe it's a little bit too wide. It goes all the way across a little bit too far. And maybe there needs to be more spacing up here and some spacing down here. So let's change that. Let's click on the entire section and let's choose boxed, and maybe let's go with 900. So it's a little bit more contained. And then we can go to advanced and we can unlink the values of the padding. And for top, we can add a little bit more space. Let's look at Joe Rogan's. He has some space up there. So we can add a little bit more space, maybe 200. That's a little bit too much. Maybe 100, maybe 50. 50 looks good to me. And then for the bottom, maybe we want some extra space down here. So we'll also add 50. All right, we can see what it looks like in the responsive mode. So we can click on it and go to mobile. And that looks pretty good to me. So I like that. I think we'll just keep that there. Maybe we could add a little bit less spacing to the top for the mobile, so we can click on the entire section and then go to advanced and unlink the values here. And that looks pretty good to me. All zeros looks fine. I think that's good. Maybe we'll add a little bit of padding to the bottom just for fun and a little bit to the top. All right, that looks great. All right, let's go back to the desktop and let's add in a heading. We can see over here that he has this right here. So let's add in some text there also. So we can just click, hold, and drag in a heading. And we can go to our title right here and we can just say contact us. Now it's not the right text or color or anything like that. So let's go to style and let's change the text color to white. That looks much better. And then let's go to typography and let's change this to able. And that looks pretty good. And let's make it a little bit bigger. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. Contact us. That looks pretty good. 39. Let's just make it 40. And to me, that looks pretty good. We can also align it center if we want. We can say this looks better in the center, which I think it does. And maybe we can go back to style and go to typography and change the weight of it. Maybe it's a little bit too thick and we need to make it a little bit thinner by changing the weight to 300 instead of 600. All right, so that looks pretty good. We can update that and we can preview our changes. And now we have that contact form right there. And that looks pretty good. If we fill it out, it will email us, and that is super awesome. All right, so we can exit out of here. And if we go back to the home page, we can still see that we don't have all of those links that link to our different parts of the homepage, like Joe Rogan's. If we click on his, we can go to tour and it'll go down, or we can go to podcast and it'll scroll down. How do we add all of these links to our website so it's just like his? And we also have to add a blog. All right, so how do we add all of these links? First, all we have to do is go back to the website, and what we need to do is we need some way to tag each section. So we need a way to tag this tour section, and for the computer to know that this is the tour section, and we need to know that this is the podcast section, and we need to know that this is the about section. So we need to somehow mark each of these sections so that when you click on the button from up top, it will scroll down to this section. So that's pretty easy to do. All we have to do is click edit with Elementor. And then let's scroll down to the first section. Let's scroll down to this tour section and click on the entire section, and then go to advanced. And where it says CSS ID, that's where we're gonna put tour, T-O-U-R. And that's great. So now we can scroll down and we can do the same thing. Click here, click advance, where it says CSS ID. We can say this is the podcast section. We don't wanna add any spaces or anything here. If you do have separate words, add them with a dash instead of a space. So you say podcast. All right, but we're not adding two words. Just keep it one to keep it simple. Then we can go down and we can click on this and we can go to advanced. And for this one, we can say about. So that is marking each of these sections so that when we click on a button, it will go to that section, and it'll make more sense in just a second. But we can update that. And now we can go to our main website. And now we can see all of those things are marked, but there's no navigation up here to click on it. So we need to add some navigation right here. So we can do that in the back end by going to our dashboard and then going to appearance and menus. So right now we're making a new menu. So we're just gonna call this main for our main menu. We're gonna say that this is the primary menu. So it's the primary menu, the one that you'll see up top. Then we're gonna create menu. All right, once we've created the menu, it's gonna ask us to add pages to it. So right now we can only add the contact page because that's the only real page that we have along with the home page. So we can press view all and we can see home and contact. So we definitely want to add both of those pages. So we're adding both of those pages to the menu, but we don't have those other pages because they're not real pages. They're just different sections. So we need to go to custom link. So what I want you to do is copy your website URL with the ending slash right here, and then go to custom link. And now we're gonna put in those different sections. So we're gonna put in the URL here. So we're gonna paste that, right click or control or command V. And now we have our website name in right there. And then what we do is we just say # and then tour or whatever section it is. And then the link text, I'm gonna capitalize it and put tour, and then I'm gonna add it to the menu. All right, so we can do that again, just paste it in there, and then # podcast, and then text link podcast, all caps. And then we can add another one. We can do, paste it in there, # about, and then text link about. All right, if we look at Joe Rogan's website, we can see that this is all caps. That's why I made the tour and the podcast and the about caps. So I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna go to home and I'm gonna change the label to capital home. And then for contact, I'm going to capitalize it and put in contact. All right, then we can click, hold, and drag and rearrange this. So I want contact actually at the bottom, home, tour, podcast, about. I believe that's the order it goes in. And so I'll save that menu. All right, now we can go to the front end of the website by clicking on our business name. And now we have that home, tour, podcast, about, and contact. And let's see if it works. It goes right there. Podcast goes right there. About goes right there. And then home is just the home page. So it's great. And then the contact page will take us to another page, which is our contact page. And we still have all of those links. If we click on them, it will go straight to that. So that is super cool. I really like that effect. All right, the next thing that we're gonna do is, remember when I told you we had a little problem? If we go like this, and we click on this, it shows up white right here. And it also doesn't have our complete menu here. Well, I figured out how to make that much better. So let's go ahead and do that. The way we do it is we click on customize, and then we'll go to header builder, and then we'll click on the mobile icon down here. And then we can click off canvas. That was what I was missing. Off canvas. And then click design. And then we'll do background color and image. And that will be black. That's what we're missing, off canvas. All right, now I know. Then we can go down here and click on mobile menu, and we can click configure menu from here. So we have that as the main for the primary, but we need it to be main for the mobile also. Once we do that, hopefully when we click on it, it will have it really nice and perfect. All right, that is awesome. Click publish, exit out of there, and now our mobile menu is perfect. All right, the next and last thing that we need to do is if we click on the Joe Rogan website up here, we can see that he has a blog. Although he doesn't have any content right here, we're gonna create a quick blog, add it to the menu, and add in some content. All right, so let's do that really quickly. All we have to do is go back to our website, and then we're gonna add a new page, and that page is gonna be the blog page. So we're gonna go back into the dashboard, then we're gonna go to pages, and then we're gonna add new. And we're adding a new page called blog, B-L-O-G. And then we're gonna click publish right here and click publish again. All right, now we can view our page by clicking on view page, and we can see we have this page called blog. It's not in the menu and there's no blog posts right now. So the first thing that we have to do is set this blog page as the blog page. So right now the website doesn't know that this blog page is supposed to be where all your blog posts are. That may be a little bit confusing, but we can go ahead and click here and then go to settings and reading. This will make it more clear. So right now it's asking us what is our post page, and that post page is our blog page. So we need to set it to blog. So now the website knows that our blog page is the page that we just made called blog. So once we do that, we can save changes, and now we can go back to our website, and we don't have any blog page up here. So we can go ahead and add that by going to customize, and then go to menus, and then click on the main menu, and then we're gonna add an item. We're gonna add this blog page. So just click on it, and maybe we want the blog to be above the contact and the contact to be last, so we can do that. We can click on publish. That will also update our mobile menu, so it has blog in there also now. We go back to desktop and we can exit out of there. And now we have that in the menu, so we can always access it, or our users can access it, and we can click on it, but we see that there are no blog posts here. It's all empty. So how do we add blog posts? Well, we could be like Joe Rogan and just not at all, but we don't want to do that. So we'll go back and we can go back into the dashboard, and then we can go to post and we can add new. So this is adding a new blog post. All right, so we can add a title here. I'm just gonna go to a website called Zen Habits because it's copyright free, zenhabits.com. And I'm just gonna copy this right here. So thank you, Zen Habits. I'm just gonna paste that in there, and I'm gonna paste this in here too. Ways to get unstuck. Copy that in there and go here, and we're just gonna paste all that in there. So that looks pretty good. If we see some things that we wanna change, like this is obviously too dark right here, we can go ahead and change that by going over to these color settings and just making it white. And we can go down here and change that to color settings and make it white. Go down here, same thing. And that's looking pretty good. So of course you can do so many more things. You can add in images and everything like that. All you have to do is click on this plus button, or come down here and click on this plus button, and then you can add a whole bunch of paragraphs, headings, images, anything like that. This is not a blog tutorial, but this is super easy to do, and it's just like Microsoft Word or Google Docs, super easy. All right, then I'm gonna publish it, and I'm gonna publish it again. And now I'm gonna view the post. So I'm gonna view the blog post, and we have the blog post right here, and it's looking pretty good. So that's a blog post. You can leave comment, and that's looking pretty good. The way it looks like on the blog page is if you click on it, it creates this new post right here. And if you had another one, it will add it right below here. So keep on adding it and adding it and adding it. All right, in order to change some of this, if you don't like the way that this looks exactly, you can click on customize, and then you can click on blog. And this is the blog archive page because all the blogs are on it. When you click on it, it's the single post. So we can click on this, and maybe you don't wanna show the comments or the category or the author. So this will go away right here, and it'll look a lot more simplified. All right, so that looks better. We can click on publish, and we can exit out of there. And now you have a blog, and your users can read more and comment if you want them to. All right, now we can exit out of here. We can go back to the home page by clicking on here or here. And there's one last thing to do before we're all done, and that is to log out if you want. So we can go over here and we can press log out, and that will log us out of our website. Then we can log back in if we want, or we can delete all of that and go to our main website. And now we're viewing it just like the user is viewing it. We can say bye to Joe Rogan's website. Thank you very much. It was a very cool website to make. And we've completed Joe Rogan's website step by step with no steps skipped. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you liked it. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. I'm Tyler Moore. Thank you so much.